Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are live here in the basement studio of the Outlaw Adam Night. I, of course, am the Outlaw Adam Night. Welcome to the party, everybody. Welcome to the party. I hope you're doing all right tonight. I'm getting some weird feedback there, and I hope that's all done now. Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing okay. We are live here on YouTube for episode 11 of Outlaw Radio. I hope you're doing all right tonight. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Let me turn the background music there off. Looks like I've got my loyal one view. Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. There we are. I've got too many screens open at once, which is my own fault, I suppose. Too many screens open at once, but that's all right. I decided actually to go full out and wear my hat, which is a little awkward when I also have my earbuddies on, my headset on, but that is okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Outlaw Radio. Hope you're doing all right today. I am enjoying life here now on the 21st of January of 2026. If anybody's out there right now, if you can let me know if you can hear me okay, I'd really appreciate that. I'm going live right here on YouTube, and I'm going right here. Hey, Laser, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming on over. I really appreciate that. Thanks for coming over from Steve's and Vulcan Nerd, my boys. Thanks for coming on over from the Blathering Gaming. I hope producer Steve had you guys having a good time with Knights of the Old Republic. Oh my goodness, I got a good crew, you guys already. Tommy Retcon, thank you very much for showing up, everybody. Again, like I said, this is Outlaw Radio. This is episode 11, and I did title it Lost in Thought. But before I get into what I was talking about, why I was doing it, I want to say thank you, not just for the guys that are live here right now, but for the people that are going to be watching it later on in replay, which I hope will be more than one of you. If there's more than one of you at that point in time, that would be great. I am the Outlaw Adam Knight. I have been a professional wrestler since 1995. So yes, I am 30 years into this big old game, which is why when I take the hat off, you can see every single one of my gray hairs, and there are a lot of them. There'd be more in my beard too, but I've done the Ken nap, so I'm taking the beard off for the time being, so that is okay. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with you guys. The purpose of doing Outlaw Radio is just basically to try to expand on my thoughts about whether it's wrestling, fitness, the literary world, pop culture, or just state of the world even. Those are the things that are sort of on my mind as I do these sorts of things. That's sort of been the goal of it. So who am I, in case again you don't know? Again, professional wrestler from Central Canada. I've been in the industry since 1995. I am currently, I brought it with me today. I am currently the Blaze Pro Wrestling Canadian Heavyweight Champion. That's right. Mwah. Some might say, and by some I mean me, the best damn heavyweight champion in all of Canada. Hello there. Hey there. Good to see you, Derek. Thanks for showing up today. I am a busy man with that title, I'll tell you right now. The Blaze Pro Wrestling Training Academy just reopened in the last week. We had 17 or 18 people show up to tryout camp this weekend. I got to meet everyone that showed up, and I've been down for at least one workout already. I'm hoping to do more. So as I get to the advanced age where I'm at now, I know, thank you, Laser. As I get to the advanced age of doing this, I was, people are annoying me. I enjoy the fact that I get to go and do training and educate along the way. So yes, but as Blitz Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, this Saturday in Winnipeg at Assiniboine Downs at Wrestling for a Cause, I will be making an appearance. Tickets are available online. I'll send a link for it later on. I'll put it in the chat afterwards. For anybody in Winnipeg who wants to go to that, we are fundraising for the Dream Factory, which does wonderful work helping children of a disadvantaged nature go and experience an adventure. Oftentimes I think they take them down to Disney World or Disneyland. Don't know if that's actually going to be happening these days given the state of the 51st state, but that's all right. Derek, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. For 5 years. Good Lord, Derek. That's that was a very kind thing for you to say, my man. I really appreciate that. Anyways, pardon me. I don't know about 5 years, but if I can hold it for another year, I think I'll be doing really well. And thank you, Tommy. That's great. Our next Blaze Pro Wrestling show is actually February 27th, also right here in Winnipeg, at the home of Blaze Pro Wrestling at the St. Louis Center in the heart of St. Boniface, where I will be main eventing against Total Nonstop Action's Cody Diener, another 20-plus year veteran of the game, also a Canadian, and it'll be the first time I've ever met the man or faced the man at all. And he's taken to an exception, apparently, to my trash talk, and has decided he wants to challenge for the title of best goddamn heavyweight in all of Canada. So that's what we're going to do. That is what we are going to do. February 27th in Winnipeg. Go to blazeprowrestling.com for that information. Also, if you want to take a chance, you take a look at the links down below in the description. You will see all of my merchandise at Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm also with Great West North. I have to get the link up for them. I'm sorry. That was just announced earlier today. They're a Canadian shirt company, which I'm also going to be getting my merchandise out through. And of course, in addition to being the man in the hat, the guy who wears the title around his waist, I am also an author. While this probably will not sell as well as Jim Butcher's latest book, 12 Months, which I actually have upstairs, my book, Cowboy Ending, is the first book in my urban fantasy series set here in Winnipeg. No vampires, no zombies, all action, all intrigue, and a fair bit of angst. So if that's something you're interested in, please give it a shout, everybody. I'd really appreciate that. All of those links are available below for my books on Amazon. Yeah, I know, Evil Empire, I'm doing my best, but that's the best place I can do it right now if I'm trying to get my books out there in the world. So, with that said, last thought. For the last couple of days, I was trying to get myself together, trying to figure out what I wanted to do for today's episode, because I didn't want to chintz out and just do a quick 10-minute pre-recorded thing like I've done a couple of times when I've had to. No trouble with that. The joy of doing Outlaw Radio live is the fact that I get to do it live. I get to sort of go what's off the top of my dome, get to see what's happening out in the world, and comment on it. Last week, of course, I talked about AEW Dynamite. I didn't get a chance to watch tonight. That's fine. I don't always want to do reviews. I'm screwing with the algorithm here on YouTube because I'm not going to talk about the same thing every time. I'm not going to do reaction videos either. That's okay. What I did want to do, though, as I drink my coffee at 10 o'clock at night, what I did want to do was talk about things that were bothering me, things that were on my mind, because I was in a pretty dark place. Not end of the world dark, not terrible dark, not feeling like any self-harm or anything like that was going to happen. And I've talked in the past about anxiety and worrying about my mental health and depression and things like that. So I feel comfortable coming out here and having these conversations because, again, I think it's really important for a privileged white dude to be able to talk about struggles and to talk about those things. And I was all set to do that. I have a whole list of things that I've got written down here in my notebook that I'm still going to address. But I'm going to start off by addressing the fact that I had a wonderful perspective shift earlier today. Without giving all the details away, because it's not fair to everybody involved, I went and saw my daughter in her middle school's first 2 basketball games. Now, my little girl is in middle school. She's in grade 7. This is their first organized basketball game she played against other schools. So it was the first time seeing a real level of competition. And I got to tell you, I was laughing my ass off, having the best time. For 2+ hours, I got to watch these girls play great, play terribly, have fun, but just mostly just have fun and be together. And I got to see a side of the world that you forget about when you're too busy navel gazing and being up your own ass. You know, I got to see these kids just out there playing for the love of playing because it means something to them, playing because at this point in time in their lives, it is the most important thing that they could possibly do. And that is just play basketball. And it's great. It's great. And it's put me in a fantastic mood. So while I had planned to be a little bit dour and was worried that I might be too dour and I might turn people away, the truth is life is good. And I can't complain. And I hope that you all can relate to those sorts of things when I talk about that. It's a funny thing. But it does relate to some of the stuff we were talking about. So, if you'll permit me, I know I went from, cowboy hat and bringing out the title, and now I'm getting full-on old man with his spectacles, because without these I can't even read my own writing anymore. It's a funny thing. Lost in thought. I did want to talk quite a bit about really feeling lately the passage of time. Much like those kids, those little girls I saw earlier today, everything to them is so slow. Their lives are happening so slowly. The most important things in the world to them are what's happening today, this minute. What's my next math test looks like, what the kids in the other section of the room are talking about, what they're thinking about me, what TV show we're going to watch, whether or not Mike or Steve on Stranger Things is cuter than the other. Whereas me, as I'm rounding the corner on 50, so I'm circling the drain, everything's going so damn fast. It's not my quote, somebody else said it, but when you have kids, don't blink. Kid's 12 now, but to me, she's always going to be that little infant that I held in my arms for the first time, I've got every memory of her at that age, and now she's, 12 going on 30 and likes to tell her dad what's what, and that's okay. That's life. That's the cycle of life. But it is funny, I watch her get older and more mature and smarter and more determined, and at the same time, in my head, I still sometimes feel like I'm still 13 to 15 myself, So the same level of mental energy and excitement. So it's kind of weird to be looking at her and her friends at that age, and like her cousins and my nieces and nephews and all that other stuff, and having those things. And yes, laser, I do. Summer break did used to feel like it lasted forever. Now it feels like a blink of an eye, especially up here in Canada, where I tell you, we have lovely summers in the city of Winnipeg, but my God, June to August goes by quicker than I want to think about. So yeah, I've been thinking about a lot of things. I've been thinking about the passage of time. I've been thinking about getting older. And that's a common thing. I talked about it a couple weeks ago on here. I made as we were talking about the young men and women in the wrestling industry that don't take their health seriously enough, in our opinion, who take too many risks and are put their bodies in the line possibly more than they need to. And that's a sad thing, but it's a true thing. And I have had a lot of time to think about that because, again, I'm getting older and I'm facing my own mortality. Right now, I've said it before, I'm waiting on a knee replacement. I'm not desperate for it, but, when they give me a call in a couple of years, I'm probably going to take it. I'm going to get an x-ray next week to take a look at my shoulder because I haven't been able to bench press properly in about 3 months. And it's starting to affect my gains, and my pecs are getting to the point where, my old lady is starting to, not want to put it in. Long story. The point is, we're breaking down. I've got a bruise on my toe that I don't know why is there. Waking up in the morning, my back is sore, my neck is sore. It's just the passage of time. And it's the price I pay for the younger man 25 years ago who said back then, I'll put my body through the ringer knowing that I'm going to get to this point at some point in my life. We're here. And that's okay. That is okay. But it doesn't mean that I have to like it. I feel a lot of times like I mentioned earlier, still feeling in my head like I'm still 13, 15, 20, 25 years old. I still have that level of excitement and energy and belief in myself. But the truth is, I am so much slower than I used to be. I'm still strong as fuck, but I'm slower. My body's betraying me. I don't have as much energy as I'd like. My mental focus isn't what it could be. And my metabolism is slowed right down, which some people will say that's not really a thing and it's a myth, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I do know now that as I'm older and I'm beaten up and I'm not as mobile as I used to be, it's harder to stay on the right side of fitness. And I've talked about that in another podcast, but it's very tough to keep the energy levels up to the point where, I can sustain myself on the amount of nutrition that I need as opposed to the amount of nutrition that I like. And that's frustrating and irritating. But it's tricky. And especially as I'm uploading, matches every Monday from the vault. For those of you that saw it, Laserbolt was very kind enough to take a look at my match that I put up with the Big O from 2001. 25 fucking years ago. And I saw this kid going with another guy, and I didn't recognize him. So I looked at that skinny, fat little guy who was running his ass off and going a million miles an hour for 10 minutes, barely taking a breath. And man, oh man, if I tried that now, I'd have a freaking heart attack. Well, probably not. My cardio's pretty good, and, doctor says my capillaries in good shape, and I'm not really in any danger of that, in spite of my size. But there we are. But it's true. You see those things, and it's impossible not to compare who you are today with who you once were and how you'll never be there again. And again, not to self-plug, as I've got that big match with Cody Deaner coming up in a couple of weeks, yes. Man, that's a top flight athlete. That's a TV talent. I'm going to work my ass off just to not be the shits next to him. I'm still going to whip his ass, but I'd like to do it in a way that's engaging for more than just me. Anyways. So yeah, you've got those things going on, and so when you look at all of those numbers and you look at all of those ideals and the things you put in your way, it's hard not to feel a little lost, to feel a little aimless, having trouble focusing on your goals, or even trying to decide what goals are most important to you. Is it my fitness? Is it the last few months of my wrestling career? Few years, whatever I've got left? Is it the fact that I've got a fourth book in this series that I've got an outline and about 7 chapters for that I have not worked on in ages because I can't seem to get the motivation for it? Sorry, Tanya Huff, I know you're excited to keep reading, but I'm just being honest. It's hard to focus on anything like that. It's hard to put in the work for it. And I have to be honest as well. With everything that's gone on since 2016, which is, of course, why we're getting those, where were you 2016, where were you today things, it's difficult not to realize that the state of the world fucks with you. I don't think I've really, truly felt good about the state of the world since pre-2016. Say that what you will, Tangerine Palpatine or not. But the fact is, that level of chaos and instability in the world stage has, encouraged bad actors all over the place. And I'm not just talking about Jake Lang being, a neo-Nazi, openly admitting it, trying to, cause trouble in Minneapolis when there's enough shit going on down there. I'm not talking about Pierre Poilievre and all of his fuckwit idiots, trying to rally the people in Alberta to get behind Danielle Smith and want to be a separatist party in fucking Alberta. The situation going on in Iran, all of this stuff worldwide, the anti-Semitism that's happening, the people of Palestine, I have no solutions for any of that stuff. Would that I did. I don't know anyone who can just sort of wave a magic wand and make it go away or make it better. There have always been and always will be bad actors. There always has been and always will be corruption and people willing to put me before thee. And that sucks. That sucks. And I wish it didn't have to be that way, but it is. But again, it's hard not to let those sorts of things not affect you. Not to let that affect your mental mood. Not to let it affect your thoughts of self, thoughts of motivation, make you wonder, is it even worth putting in the effort to do anything? Is it worth the effort to go any further? And that stuff just leads to fear. And yes, I know, Yoda. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to the dark side. And I get that. That's important. But I have had a lot of fear. I'm afraid I'm not enough. I think we can all say that along the way. I'm afraid I'm not better than I am or that I'd like to be or that I could be. I'm afraid that I'm a fraud. I'm afraid that everything I've done leading up to this point in my life has been a series of clusterfucks and mistakes that I should have taken, option B when all I did was take option A. I don't know. Afraid that I'm not smart enough, that I'm not successful enough. And fear also ties into my mortality. My fear of my mortality. I'm not afraid to die. But I am afraid that when it is my time, which hopefully isn't anytime soon, that I will be leaving a mess behind for my loved ones. I am afraid of being a burden to my daughter, to my lady, to my family, to my brother and sister, to my nieces and nephews. I am afraid. Every day as I get older, I am afraid that I am becoming a burden to her and to my family, which I think isn't an uncommon thing. I'm blessed to still have my grandmother with us, but the state that she's in is very challenging to see my mother dealing with her, and when I go to help out, and I would hate to get to that advanced stage of life and not be able to enjoy it and to feel like I'm not able to give back anymore. And it's tough. It's tough. But like I said at the beginning of this, oh, very kind, Laser. I'm going to turn it around. I'm not going to be doom and gloom for the rest of this. I promise you here. Like I said at the beginning of this, those are my thoughts earlier today. And those are just real thoughts. Those are real things and real issues. And I own the fact that they're not just mine, they're everybody's. At some point in time, everybody has thoughts like that and worries about things like that. There's my ASMR. But again, I watched a collection of 12-year-old girls scream and chant and stomp their feet and run up and down the court and barely squeak out 15 points in 3 quarters of action and have a great time doing it. I saw them fouling each other and immediately apologizing and helping their opponents up. I saw joy. I saw competition. I saw energy and I saw life. And I can tell you right now, of all the things that are weighing on me, of all the things that, weigh on the world, I see stuff like that and I am grateful. I am grateful for the reminder that darkness is only ever the absence of light. Once you have light, darkness goes away. And I realize I say that as I'm wearing a dark sweater with the dark background behind me just to finally make sure none of you see my washer and dryer anymore. Darkness is merely the absence of light. And when you see the light of these children, when you see the light of people coming together to protect themselves from oppression, to stand up for what's right, when you see people coming together and having community in art, when you see people coming together and having community, again, for healthy competition, when you see that community and it brings people together, what other feeling can you have other than gratitude? And I have so much to be grateful for. Yeah, I'm breaking down. I am no longer indestructible. Hi, baby. I am no longer indestructible. But I have my health. In some ways, I'm healthier than I've been in a number of years. I was letting it slip away and I didn't even know it. But I stand here today, sit here today. I don't sit here in this moment, but stand in general. I sit here today knowing that I'm on the path to have what should be, a long and healthy life. I am grateful. I am grateful for my privilege as a Canadian male. I am grateful for my status as someone who, grew up with some bullying and, being a fat kid and being a nerd and all this stuff. But I'm grateful that I've got the perspective, the intelligence to realize that's just my journey and not a level of oppression that I personally have to deal with, that I personally don't have to deal with, that many others do. And for that, I'm grateful to them for their grace in allowing me the ability to learn the challenges they face, as I now try to be a better ally for them and others. I'm grateful for my daughter and her health. I'm grateful for the love of my life. I'm grateful for my family, my cranky brother, my know-it-all sister. I say that with love. They're beautiful children. My extended family, my friends that might as well be family, they all know who they are. For anybody that shows up here to hang out, to listen to my words, to join in if they want, I am a lucky man, and I know it. So yeah, it's easy to get lost in thought. It's easy to let the dark take over. But that is just a shadow, and it passes as more light shows up to show you the way home. That's kind of beautiful in a way. So I'm no longer lost in thought. I think I've expressed my thoughts quite nicely. I want to thank all you guys that showed up here today. Derek, Vulcan Nerd, Tommy, Laser, anybody that's lurking that I can't see your names, thank you. For everybody that shows up after this and is watching the live stream afterwards on YouTube after it's been recorded, thank you. For all of you here, thank you for showing up. I appreciate that as well. Next week I'm going to have a guest. I don't know who yet. I'm open to suggestions. I've got it figured out now where I can send a link out and I can have people live on here with me. It'll probably be clunky and it won't be as smooth as some of the professional podcasters, but I'm going to get it going. Might be a fitness person, might be somebody in the wrestling industry, might be another writer or author. I'm open to suggestions. If you're out there and you'd like to be on the show, let me know. I'd be happy to talk with you. And hi, baby. I see you. It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. I am grateful. So next week, let's go live again. I'm going to find a guest, and I'll advertise it properly with more than just a couple hours notice, and we'll get it going. So if you can join in and tune in, and if you have any suggestions, you can definitely do that. That's an important thing, to have people to talk to. Here's your final reminder of the plugs. Please take a look at the links down below. If you like to read, please check this out. If you really like to read, check this one out. It's the sequel to that one. And there's a third book in this series. And there's other books up on there as well. Again, if you want to have me spread across your chest, I've got logos there for that on my t-shirts. You can get at the Pro Wrestling Tees page and other places. Yeah. Have a great night, everybody. Please check out all the links. Please support your local indie. Please support your local artist. Please take care of yourself and others. And be kind to yourselves. Nobody knows in the world what everybody's facing. Nobody knows what everybody's dealing with except the people that are dealing with it. And that's just a sad truth of things. But here's hoping that if we can help ourselves, we can continue to help each other as a result. And in so doing, help ourselves once again. Again, this Saturday, Wrestling for a Cause, Cinnaboy Downs in Winnipeg, February 27th, also in Winnipeg. And expect some more dates popping up here and there as the schedule permits. Lots of love, take care, and thanks for watching.